was with Goodwill for a long time, over 15 years. Then I was with Use Again for a little bit, and then I needed a shower every day, a couple of times a day, so then I decided to come here, but I did learn some good things from Use Again about donation bins and how you can do them and how to market them. The first thing with marketing, you saw what Ralph spoke about this morning, what they both actually spoke about, and what you're going to hear this afternoon. In order to market, though, you have to do everything right at your store. So kind of putting me first is good so that you can understand that you have to do everything right at your store as much as you can right. The factor of 2 and 10 in marketing is if you do something wrong, they're going to tell 10 people. If you do something right, they're going to tell 2. It doesn't take long for those numbers to work against you if you're not properly rotating your stock, or if you don't have the donations to have good things in your shelves. I'll give you an example. I came in to where I'm at. I started November 1st. I didn't do a single ad, nothing, until about the middle of September the following year. All we did was work on what we were doing in our store, because I didn't want to bring people to the store for them to see something that was wrong, because they're going to tell 10 people. But I have a clicker here?
Yes.
I don't know how to use it. Well, first I'm going to talk about marketing and realizing that the first thing you have to do is have everything right. Now I'm going to go, you have everything right. I'm going to give you a different look at marketing, a different approach to marketing. Let's see if I go the right way here. Is that how you do it? No. Which button do I hit? Google. I know you can do the red thing. Which one do you hit? See, I wasn't doing it wrong. But yet, did I break it? Yeah. There you go. Yeah, I think so. It's the second one, right? Okay. We talk about why. People know what you do and how you do it. They know that you are offering a shirt or a pair of pants or a jacket or whatever you have. You know, they can come buy it from you. They kind of know how you do it, but why? Why is what people buy. People will buy if you put an ad in the paper and say 75% off, they'll come to your store, but why will they come back? They have to understand why you're doing it. Again, people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. Also, great companies don't hire skilled people and motivate them, they hire already motivated people and inspire them. Part of your marketing program should include educating your employees and your volunteers on what St. Vincent de Paul does. You have no better salesperson than the person at your counter, or the guy who picks up things from somebody's home, right? That is going to be your best marketer so they can understand your why. Why is St. Vincent de Paul here, and why are you working with them? Henry Ford summed it up. He said, if I asked people what they wanted, and they would say, a faster horse, right? Wouldn't they? Okay, think outside the box. Make sure that you have something that people want. Don't just, in part of your marketing program, say, I'm going to put up a billboard, so everyone has a billboard. One of the best marketing things I do is invite people to come into my parking lot and sell things, or a car wash. We have, once a month, we have a fruit truck that comes in, and they unload all their fruit in a semi within like 3 hours. But I also just had 500 people in my parking lot. Now what do I do to get them in the door? So it's not always just more billboards, send out a flyer in the mail, do something with the newspaper. You have to be a little bit inventive. The goal of your business is to work with everybody who, not everybody who needs what you have, but the goal is to do business with people who believe in what you believe. Okay? I'll give some examples of that later on, but you want people that you make an emotional connection to for your business. They're your repeat shoppers, right? Everyone remembers Norm at Cheers. Well, Norm didn't come there because I guess he came because they had beer. He came there for for the camaraderie and the people that were there, and he knew everyone and he felt comfortable coming there. And then the last thing, your customers will never love your company until your employees love it first. Okay, how many of you have employees who have no idea what you're doing? And now you want them to be the face of your company? Have you educated them? Have you talked to them about what St. Vincent de Paul is? How many of them could tell you what a Vincentian does, actually really does? You know, or what the many great things you do in your community. Talking about why. People buy your why and not your what or your how. They buy your why. Here's some companies that really sell their why. Apple. Apple has never really sold you a product ever. They sell you that they are going to make your life easier. They're going to give you a product. They want to make you do better. They want to help teachers teach, and they want to help students learn. So they never really talk about what they're going to buy. In fact, they're a computer company that we used to buy MP3 players from and all kinds of stuff. We buy phones from them. They're just a computer company, but they've reached out in other markets because you understand their why. Google, their whole existence is just to make it so you can find something online. You understand their why. You don't go to Google as a product. You know they're there to help you. And the last one, my second favorite one, Johnson & Johnson. Everybody knows with it, right? You will reach on Johnson & Johnson because you know that they're there. You grab that product and you're going to put this on your infant because you know their why is to make sure that you can take care of your child safely in a manner, and they test and they make sure that you have a product that you can help your children with, you know, so you get that one. Go ahead and click. The biggest one. The biggest why there is on earth. This company's unbelievable. Harley Davidson, their why was really to give you freedom, give you an escape. In fact, they at one time, we can argue they still do, one time sold you a substandard product for more money, and you were happy to buy it because you know what, you're going to be king of the road, and next weekend you're going to go to Omaha and ride your motorcycle and just get away from it. And accounting could be one of the outlaws, you know. It was the greatest why ever. They never talked about their product, but here is the greatest why ever, right? They sold you freedom and the lifestyle and a product. The imagery of a Harley Davidson, they're not, and those are actually ads from Harley Davidson in the 1970s. They never really talked about their motorcycles because they weren't selling it. They were talking about their why. Go ahead. So much so, they got people who believe their why so much that people permanently put their name on their bodies. Can you imagine Coca-Cola or St. Vincent de Paul, or that you tattoo that to your body? They got so far into their why at that time that you knew exactly what a Harley Davidson was, and you couldn't have told me any of the products. You couldn't have told me 3 of their bikes in their line, but you would have wanted one. Gosh, I want a Harley. Oh, I want a Harley so bad, I can't believe it. Right? You couldn't have told me, oh, what do you want? I don't know, the one with the big handlebars or whatever. You couldn't have told me that it was a Road King or a Softail. Go ahead, click the next one. But Harley Davidson, about 10 years ago, and you can just see them do this. The first thing they did, and I'll start with this. What did we talk about earlier? What do you have to do to be people who believe in your why? You can't fire your employees, right? You can't have them looking over their shoulder. They gotta love you. You have to be everything to your employees that you want your Vincentian to be. Because Harley Davidson started firing people, right? And now they're looking over their shoulder, now they're not so in love with the company. The next thing they did, you can read there, Joe, go ahead, sorry. Joe talked about really Harley Davidson started trying to compete and sell motorcycles with the Japanese, right? They were never selling motorcycles, they were selling a lifestyle. They started to sell motorcycles. They started to sell their what? Even their how, that they were American made, right? Come buy this great American made motorcycle You understand the what. Then their CEO, Matt Levatich, who's still their CEO, talked about we want to get to our core market, and then he started isolating older riders. And this is the guy who's running the company that these people need to believe in. Do you believe in him? Do you want to work for that guy? Because I'll tell you what, this is the same guy here who's talking about younger segments and all of that, and he's the one who's signing the contract to let you go and call it a RIF. It's a reduction in force. He's the same guy doing that. You can see he's about the numbers, right? He's about selling motorcycles. He's not about selling a lifestyle. So, just an example of a company who actually got their why, created a huge why, created probably the greatest why ever in all marketing, because they didn't realize what it was. They kind of gave it away. Okay, next one. What's your why? What's our why here? Ours is kind of easy, isn't it? Right? Here to end poverty, as we know it. Your why doesn't necessarily have to be completely attainable. I think to end poverty is a gigantic why. Oh, my back. Oh, I can. All right. I mean, to end poverty, that's huge. It probably can never be done, but you know what? It's a great why. It's a great place to start. But St. Vincent de Paul and our why is a pretty big secret to everyone outside of these walls, right? Even to our own employees. You know, there's at times I think that even to some of the volunteers and Vincentians, that is a secret. And much less the public. So, talking about that, what we do in our store now, we just started it. We have radio, we talk about the things we do in the community, we have TV. All of my ads, I no longer have ads that say 30% off sale. We talk about what is a neighbor to you. You know, we have an ad that says, what's a neighbor to you? And then we give the explanation of it from the dictionary, but then we talk about what it means to St. Vincent de Paul, and that you're willing to do whatever it takes to help that person who's in need. And that's really what a neighbor is. So we've stopped. We no longer have ads that talk about, gosh, we have a great store. You can still do those ads, right? But we've more about educated community. We go to the local fair, we have a big booth, a big booth. In fact, there's 3 spaces, and we give away stuffed animals and all the stuff that in the thrift store we don't want to sell, right? Stuffed animals. But we talk about our jail ministry. We talk about coming together to get ahead. We talk about these things. Big signs, big well-lit signs, and we talk about our why. Because the customers we're going to get from doing this will be our customers, and more importantly, our what? Donors. This industry is about donation. Goodwill became very successful when they figured that out, and quite honestly, we copy it. I think if you have some stores that are in lesser neighborhoods, you better have 2 or 3 that get donations to help them out. And I think that might be the direction we should go in years to come. Education, understanding the why. We spend an hour, I'm just trying to think, for each employee every month, and then once every 3 months we have a class. And I feel that it's important enough that I pay them. The volunteers are asked to come to all of them. I still haven't figured out how to fire volunteers, so they do what they want. Okay? And about 1/3 of our staff are volunteers. Volunteers, I'm going to make a joke, but volunteers are very important to what we do. They're kind of the lifeblood of what we do at our stores. Employee, volunteer, and you see the public. The public will be educated by the other 2 if you educate them correctly. And if you notice so far, we've talked nothing about a billboard or a shiny sign or anything like that. The front of your store, like I said earlier, is very important. you want to talk about those things, but educating your people is free. It's free, and it's the most important thing you can do. Why? I leave you with that today. Just think about what is our why and how can we talk about it, right? People want to believe in your why. We have a great why. Let's let them know about it. Think about the things you can do just in your store. Signage when you walk in your door. Everyone has a front door. What is the one thing people see when they walk in your door? Put a big sign in there. Did you know that last year, I'll use one of our, yeah, it's in front of our door now. Waukesha, that we gave $1.4 million back to people in need. That's what our stores gave back. When they come in the store, they hear it when they're in the store. Community events. We'll actually, I've had paid high school kids to put flyers on cars. I think it's legal. Okay. To put on there, did you know St. Vincent de Paul did this? Did you know St. Vincent de Paul did that? And our store's right down the street from you. We have radio ads. We more do radio ads that are based off of hear my name, this, because you can get a lot more of those than you can 30-second ads. A 10-second ad. The weather's brought to you by St. Vincent de Paul, Waukesha County. Hear my name, hear my name, hear my name, because we'll go back to why you have to have your store look good. It's about word of mouth advertising. And in word of mouth advertisement, if you've heard my name 7 times, 8 times, and then someone says, well, use Nick's shoes. Hey Rod, I like your shoes. Where are you getting from? Oh, I got it from Nick's Shoes. If you go down to Nick's Shoes, your chances of going to Nick's Shoes are not really great, unless we have a really great relationship. That depends on my relationship with you. But if you've heard Nick's Shoes, saw a sign from Nick's Shoes, heard Nick's Shoes on the radio, and then I say to you, I got them at Nick's Shoes, your chances of going there are pretty good. And that's really how Coca-Cola and all the big companies do it. They want you just to hear your name, see someone else drink it, and then your chances of drinking it are higher. So that's all really I have today. I didn't want to talk about